As you know, the LeaderID model is based on the principle that high potential emerging leaders are already thinking and acting. Now let's examine what to look for specifically. Here are some key indicators of both thinking and acting. Let's begin with thinking indicators. Here's what to look for. First, does he or she face reality, both within and without? The first task of any leader is to face reality. And so high potential leaders will do the hard work of facing reality, both about themselves as well as the organization. Look for that. Then, learning, especially from mistakes. The academic research demonstrates that this is one of the key indicators of strong leadership potential. Remember that leadership involves movement, often into new places where we haven't been. So leaders must be continual learners. They must love to learn and be able to learn. And since they're leading people into new places, it's almost inevitable that they'll make mistakes. How do they then respond to those mistakes? Do they cover them up or blame someone else? Or do they take responsibility for their mistakes and do they learn from them? These are key leadership indicators. Then, reflection. In order to learn, leaders must regularly step back from the work and consider what's working and what's not working. A healthy leader is a reflective leader. Then, adaptability. The movement involved in leadership requires that the leader must be personally adaptable. Then, teachable. The effective leader must be open to the views and the positions of others, not only his own. Then, thinking strategically and conceptually. Strategic thinking looks beyond the narrow and the immediate challenges and takes a holistic and future-looking approach. And then conceptual thinking looks at the underlying patterns and frameworks of what's happening to make sense of it. Effective leaders will think both strategically and conceptually. Then, holistic thinking. Everyone can make a good case for their own limited department within the organization, but the leader has to see how it all fits together and how to move forward in such a way that is in everyone's best interests. So holistic thinking is a powerful leadership indicator. Then, embracing ambiguity. Leadership actually is filled with ambiguity. For example, do I prioritize the needs of today or the potentials of tomorrow? And the answer is yes. You must do both at the same time. Many people are not comfortable with this kind of ambiguity, but effective leaders are. In fact, they love it because ambiguity creates so much potential and opportunity. Then, thinking interdependently. Good leaders are good listeners. They deeply listen to others and build a shared consensus. Then, practical and not just theoretical. Good leaders will think both practically and theoretically. This way, they'll combine both strong conceptual reasoning and pragmatic real-world application. Now let's examine some acting indicators. A passion for the highest. I love this one. High potential leaders see opportunity everywhere. Opportunity to explore, to solve, to achieve, and to fulfill God's very highest purposes for the organization. Is there that passion? Then, challenging the status quo. Effective leaders are not content merely to keep doing the same things the same way. They challenge the status quo. hopefully with grace and kindness, and they inspire others to do the same. Then, takes responsibility and initiative. Look for those who are not waiting for someone else to tell them what to do, and those who will not say, well, this is not my job, but instead they'll take ownership and act. Then they're not afraid to make decisions. As a leader, you will almost never have as much information as you would like about the situation in order to make a decision. Almost never. So what will you do? Will you be paralyzed by the lack of information? Or will you have the courage to make a decision as best as you can, knowing that you may potentially fail? Then, look for those who energize others, bringing out their best. Look at the effect that good leaders have on others. When the leader is around, everyone is energized and inspired. And then, effective communication. Good leaders will communicate with clarity, passion, and credibility. Without communication, leadership does not happen. Then, resilience. Resilient leaders are not overcome by pressure or by failure or by opposition. They bounce back. The mark of a good leader is not only that he survives opposition and adversity, but that he thrives. And then, does he finish tasks? Does he have a stubborn passion? Is the emerging leader a finisher? Or do they give up? Perhaps out of boredom or perhaps out of frustration at things not going their way, and start looking for something new and exciting. Effective leaders finish things. They don't just start them. Starting is fun, finishing is work. And then, can they lead without positional authority? Can they lead without having the title of leader? Will people follow them because of who they are and how they lead? This is a major indicator of high potential leadership. So test the young leader. Give him a specific responsibility without the formal authority that would normally go with it, and see what he can accomplish. These are all examples of the kinds of things to look for in an emerging leader's life and leadership. These are specific indicators of thinking and acting. Now, obviously, your young leaders will not have all of them present in full maturity. They're young leaders who need to grow and develop. But look for expressions of these. And the more they have, and the more clearly they're expressed, the higher the potential of the young leader.